The turnaround in Tiger Town has been nothing short of miraculous. The stands at Ivor Wynne half empty a year ago. Tonight, the Tiger Cats will establish a new single-season attendance record. On the field, the Cats are one win away from a playoff spot after winning one game all last season. It is the best story in Canadian football in years. And for added fun, it's a nice night. 10 degrees here. Wind southwest at 15. That's left to right across your TV screen tonight, Glenn.
Well, Joe Palpal's had to answer more questions about what's going on in the office buildings with the Ottawa Renegades and not what's going on the field. He's had to endure a ton of injuries this season. 30 of his 44 starters have had to take at least 2 games off, including all 3 quarterbacks. However, the Ottawa Renegades still have a chance to make the playoffs.
Hamilton's Greg Marshall has the inside track on Coach of the Year in his rookie season. The Tiger Cats have improved by 700% in the win column, and Marshall deserves a great deal of the credits. Final home game of 2004's regular season for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and the Renegades will kick it off. Dropping deep for Hamilton is Chris Martin, number 29. Down around the 25, taken by Gilliam, and it's a nice return to get the Tiger Cats evening underway. 25 yards there for Gilliam. Danny McManus has a chance for a special place in CFL history, and it just might happen in this one tonight. Here's the lineup for Danny Mac. Receiver, DJ Flack. 38 yards away from his first ever 1,000-yard season for DJ Flick. And Carl Coulter centers the Tiger Cats offensive line. As a group, these guys have allowed just 9 sacks all season, and that is the fewest in the league. Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Tums. Tums tackles heartburn fast.
288 yards passing last week versus Winnipeg for Danny McManus. He needs 299 tonight for 50,000 in his career to join Damon Allen and Ron Lancaster.
Penalty against the Tiger Cats on the return, so Hamilton begins at the 40 instead of out closer to midfield. McManus puts it up. It's a beauty. And falls between 3. The intended target was DJ Flick.
Hamilton's Troy Davis needs 54 yards to become the all-time leader in Ticat history. Well, Reggie Givens in the middle of that linebacking core for Ottawa says he does not want that to happen on his shift. And one change in the secondary, well, one of many changes this season, I should say, is that Corey Banks starts at halfback his first game in the Canadian Football League.
Hebert at safety, 2nd and 10, Tiger Cats. Davis sliding out of the backfield, and he'll be stopped short of a first down.
And right over there to make that tackle and put a big hit on Troy Davis was Reggie Givens. You know, all the talk all week long around Danny McManus and his 50,000 and Troy Davis and the 54 yards he needs rushing. Now, this is a swing pass, but Reggie Givens is fired up to put a hat on Troy Davis every chance he gets. And watch how Reggie Givens early in this game flies over there and puts that hit on number 3-2. Let him know he's there.
Jason Armstead has been brilliant for the Renegades, particularly of late on returns. He's back just inside his 30-yard line. Just got it away. Jamie Borum. Armstead spinning and hit by 3 Tiger Cats simultaneously. Darnell Kennedy gets to start again with Kerry Joseph gone for the year. Jason Armstead, one Ottawa receiver to watch without doubt. The rookie from Mississippi has speed to burn and has been sensational on returns as well. And up front for the Renegades, Val St. Germain, one of the few to have started all games for the often maligned offensive line. Inside the 25. Veronic takes the pitch. Good beginning. for the Renegades on the ground.
Adriano Belli is out of the lineup for the Hamilton Tiger Cats on defense. Devontae Peterson draws in his spot. Peterson is all kind of attention this week because of his clothesline hit on Keith Stokes in the Winnipeg game a week ago. And in the secondary, Wayne Shaw with 4 interceptions since moving to the middle of a defensive secondary that Greg Marshall simply does not want to mess with right now. They're playing their best football in the last 3 weeks.
Ronick picked up 6. This is 2nd and 4. Ottawa. Again, and they were waiting. Tim Cheatwood was there.
Well, yeah, he was. Tim Cheatwood just flew right down to the middle of that play. Watch how Tim Cheatwood, working one-on-one on Alexander Gauthier, throws him aside, steps into that tackle, and Josh Ronick has absolutely nowhere to go. Both teams 2 and out to start this game offensively.
Fleming down near the 45. Jason Goss, number 27, away from one tackle. He's inside the 40. The Ticats have great position for their next sequence of downs. Tiger Cats quarterback Danny McManus is tossed for 49,701 yards in his career. He closes in on 50,000 here tonight, and putting that another way, that's 28.34 miles through the air for Danny McManus, passing all the way from Hamilton to St. Catharines, technically speaking.
Procedure, Hamilton 95, still first down.
Well, to move the sticks, he's going to need an extra 5 in this series right here, because the procedure call right there puts the Hamilton Tiger Cats in 1st and 15. But really is incredible the numbers Danny McManus has put up when you consider his first 5 years. He really wasn't the full-time starter.
Ticats looking 1st and 15. It's Davis along the ground. Nice hold. Troy Davis far side, and it looks like he's very close to a first down.
And no sign of Reggie Givens on that play. This time Troy Davis wins the battle between middle linebacker and run stopper, who lines up right there, and Troy Davis, who's the tailback in the I formation with Julian Radlin, the lead blocker, in front of him. Nice kick-out block there, and Troy Davis is into the secondary.
Close enough to measure.
You hate to be the answer of a trivia question when people want to say, well, when Troy Davis became the Ticat all-time leading rusher and passed Jerry McDougall, well, what team were they playing that night? You don't want to be that answer. There's how close he is.
54 yards behind McDougall coming in
half the time.
And he gets enough for the first down there. So the Tiger Cats march on. Davis again. And it takes 4 Renegades to bring him down.
It was quite a battle at the point of attack. Julian Radlin had stepped up. I believe it was Kelly Wilshire. And Julian Radlin is the lead block. Often is for Troy Davis. He's right here. He steps up here and makes this block. Watch the contact at the point of attack. Right there. Big block on Kai Ellis. Kai Ellis fights it off and gets to Troy Davis. Some big-time contact on that play.
Gain of 3. This is 2nd and 7. Tiger Cats just inside the 25. McManus looks to put it up. Has time. End zone toss. Jump ball. Who's got it? No catch. Tunkara had the opportunity. McManus floated that one just a little bit.
Yeah, Tunkara probably saved an interception. That ball was thrown basically into coverage. If took care of without that fight. That's an intercepted football. Now, Danny McManus, I believe, wanted to go to the front side and find Craig Yeast. Craig Yeast couldn't find an opening. McManus had to hang on and was hit late by Jerome Haywood.
That'll set up a 31-yard field goal attempt for Jamie Borum. Good on 61%. He has struggled in his rookie season. He's got this one. Something to cheer about at Ivor Wynn. The Ticats have the lead. Welcome back to Wendy's Friday Night Football from Ivor Wynn. John Wells and Glenn Suter up there. Claude Faig is down there.
Well, guys, the Tiger Cat turnaround this season has certainly been unexpected and unbelievable. Of course, a win away from clinching a playoff spot after managing just one win a year ago. And safety Rob Hitchcock says that it's something the team has actually been talking about all week in the locker room, and admitting that the record fan support here has certainly been key for the Tiger Cats, as he calls it, going from a university to a professional feel, and says tonight's game is a great opportunity for payback because, as he says, the fans deserve it. Guys?
All right, Claude, Curtis Jackson makes the catch there, and we'll see where they spot this, about a half a yard shy.
And, you know, when you talk about the crowds here, and the one thing about the crowds I've noticed is it's a different crowd now, and there's a lot of kids in the stands. And this is a city that you don't want to be caught singing along with the music at a stoplight. You know what I mean? And it was always known for its tough, its tough sort of atmosphere here at Ivor Wynn Stadium, and I think that's changing. Bob Young is now, with this attendance record that is set tonight, he's brought a lot of kids back to this stadium, a lot of families back to this stadium.
Well, when you look at the average number of patrons per game, over 13,000 ahead of last year, it is a remarkable turnaround. Here are the Renegades. Back-to-back plays, and the first down is here for Ottawa. Nice play-action fake. Darnell Kennedy has time. Downfield, the defender fell, but Curtis Jackson couldn't maintain his feet either.
You know, and there's lots of reasons, I guess you could say, as to why this franchise has turned around in such a quick amount of time. But I think fundamentally speaking, the one biggest difference is that Bob Young, when he took over, never ever threatened the fans. I think that's what's happened when teams have gotten in trouble over the past in the Canadian Football League. Owners have come out and threatened fans, not Bob Young. He said, if the turnstiles and attendance is dropping, it's my fault, and we'll fix it.
Well, if it was his fault, he did fix it. It's an amazing turnaround. 250,000 fans here on the season, and almost an interception. Ben Ross was the intended target.
Except for the fact that Jason Goss just went horizontal to knock that ball out of the air. I mean, this is the one that you're going to watch the end of this.
Greg Marshall has made a huge difference in Hamilton this season. He knows just how important a win would be for the Tiger Cats tonight.
They mean a lot to this franchise and to the players that were here last year to erase that season. They've done a good job of putting the problems behind them. I think certainly the new ownership and what Bob Young's brought to this team, the crowds, and all of that excitement about Ticat football has helped to erase that 1-17 season last year. But nothing would put an end to it like, a playoff a spot and berth this year. And our guys are hungry.
And that's right there for the grasp for the Tiger Cats to win tonight. And they're in.
Well, and one other factor that you really can't underestimate is the fact that the players can focus on football now here in Hamilton. Greg Marshall has the opportunity to bring in players, to develop his practice rosters, to have depth in the lineup, and the guys don't have to worry about a paycheck.
Catch by Yo Murphy, previous play for 12 yards, first down Ottawa. Another strike for Kennedy. Curtis Jackson has made an impact on this Renegade team tonight.
Well, and you look at Darnell Kennedy right now and the opportunity that is in front of him. I mean, Kerry Joseph has had just a very unlucky season. 2 times he's been knocked out due to injury. He's gone for the year. This is an opportunity. It's a challenge, yes, but rather than look at it as a challenge, the Renegades, I think, are looking at it as an opportunity, and Kennedy can make a name for himself over the next couple weeks.
Not to mention the fact that he's a free agent after the season. On first down, Ronick is stuffed. Johnny Scott was waiting.
Well, and Darnell Kennedy is sort of in between. You mentioned he's a free agent, John, and that's a good point because he has a few games now to show every team in the league that he can be a starting quarterback. That's one thing. The other is Kerry Joseph is the quarterback in Ottawa and will be as long as they can keep him here. The other guy is Brad Banks. They think Banks is the future. So where does that put Darnell Kennedy? Kind of right in the middle between Joseph and Banks. Well, a rock and a hard place. And Kennedy can, show some people his skills over the next 3 weeks.
Ronick got 1, second and 9. Miscommunication here. Kennedy got it back, but he's decked. Spencer got through for the sack. Marcus Spencer has been terrific in the last several games and won himself a first-team starting job last week as a result of special teams play.
John, the quarterback in a shotgun has to keep his eyes down the field. He can't really look down at the ball. He just has to expect that the shotgun snap will be perfect into his hands, and it's not. It's off to the right. Kennedy can't react in time, but he does scoop it off to save the turnover and get his punt team on the field.
Yeast is back. Pat Fleming puts it up. Greg Yeast on the run and about 3 yards on the return. Again, the Tiger Cats will start on the other side of the Hamilton 40. Claim top spot in the respective division. Follow that with Edmonton and Calgary, a battle for second spot. It will be a Taylor Field for that one.
Hey.
So what a day Sunday on
Just
TSN.
settle in. Just settle in for some football on Sunday because can't get 2 better matchups.
McManus on first down. What a shot. Morreale makes the catch. And that was a bullet.
Well, he had Reggie Gibbons and Gerald Vaughn were in perfect position. You're going to see Gibbons. That's right in Danny McManus' sight line at the middle linebacker spot. And watch the small area that he has to thread the needle. I mean, that misses the fingertips of Reggie Gibbons by about 3 inches.
12 yards for Morreale. And that will be the best year of receiving footballs in Mike Morreale's career. 68 catches on the year. Previous best was 67 back in 1998 when he was the top Canadian. So Morreale has found new life with the Tiger Cats on his return.
Well, and he may get a whole bunch more tonight as well because it seems to me that Danny McManus is in a bit of a groove early on here. He's throwing on time.
Personal best for Morreale. Tiger Cats are across midfield. McManus on second down. Fleck couldn't hold on.
Yeah, it looked like George McCullough just gave Flick a little flick. Just as he's coming across the middle, he gave him a little push back towards the line of scrimmage, and that distracted him. Look at the bump and run coverage, McCullough. He gets a little grab there, he gets away with that. Now here's the push, and that pushed him back towards the football. Flick couldn't react in time and went through his hands.
No interference.
Not really. Let him play. He could have caught that. That was in his hands.
Jamie Borum bounces it down near the 20. Armstead stopped in his tracks. Here are the Renegades. First down deep in Ottawa territory. Kennedy puts it up on the money. And Bendras is ruled out.
Well, Josh Ronick to start this season was a big part of the offense, and for a couple of reasons has sort of disappeared over the last 5-6 weeks. There he is in the total this year. He started out, and from week 2 to 9, Ronick actually led the CFL. Now, talking to head coach Joe Powpow about it, he said, our team has had problems offensively converting on second down. That's both the passing game and the running game. And that has taken reps away from our offense and reps away from Josh Ronick.
Benras has close to 5. Second down, Kennedy. A one-hopper. Benras was the target again.
And that's a good example right there. There's a second down situation for Darnell Kennedy, and if he makes a 6-7 yard throw, moves the sticks, Ronick probably sees the ball at least 2 more times on this drive alone. But because they're 2 and out, the Ottawa Renegades can't convert on second down. Reps are taken away from the offense. He said in the early goings, we were averaging 25 plays or 25 first downs offensively. Now it's down to about 15 or less.
Here's Jason Goss waiting for it near the 50. And he gets a rough ride from a couple of Renegades, led by Kyrie Ziebert. 0 on the return, 37 on the punt. And Danny Mack heads out again.
You talked about Danny McManus and the 50,000 yards that he's chasing, and you look at all of football, that is an elite group. Warren Moon leads the way. Now that's in 2 leagues, the National Football League, where he had just around 47,000 or just over that. Damon Allen, of course, in the CFL, broke Ron Lancaster's record. Dan Marino, John Elway right there, and then Danny McManus on the verge of joining that club. 6 quarterbacks on the planet thrown for 50,000.
McManus is not very far away. First down, Tiger Cats. McManus keeps it on the ground, and not much that time for Troy Davis.
You know, and I think what makes it that much more special for Danny McManus is that it's happening this year in the turnaround year for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. I mean, remember at the end of last season, I don't know that there was a fan in this area that felt that Danny McManus had another year in him.
No, it was the toughest of all tough seasons for an all-star quarterback who did not have anything close to an all-star season last year. Second down, and he'll have a first down here at the 45. DJ Flick the catch, and that's vintage McManus, the quick release.
Quick release, timing on the throw, and he is throwing the ball on time. And usually it takes about 3 seconds, so you got 3 steamboats. Here's 1,000. 2, 1,000, 3, bam, ball's right there. Danny McManus, watch this quick release you talked about, John. Steps in the pocket, makes his read, finds his receiver, and that ball is out of his hands. That's why the Hamilton Tiger Cats have given up the fewest sacks in the Canadian Football League.
14-yard gain, Ticats at the Renegades 45. Davis had a nice little fake to Yeast coming out the backside that took a couple of Renegades over in the other direction on the final play of the opening quarter. Not much scoring so far, but the Tiger Cats seem to be in control. Danny McManus and the Tiger Cats looking for a playoff spot. A win tonight over Ottawa means the Tiger Cats will be around for the postseason. Second down, about 1.5 yards to go. Julian Radlin got the call that time. And here are the numbers from the opening quarter.
Well, you can see the 36 yards rushing right here for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. That puts Troy Davis that much closer to becoming the Ticat all-time leading rusher, and 89 passing, 53 passing yards for Danny McManus. Chipping away at the 299 he needs for 50,000.
A little shy here.
The one thing that Danny McManus hasn't hit tonight yet is the big play, and that's one thing that the Ticats have been pretty darn good at all season long, is that deep ball. Now they don't have Archie Amerson in the lineup.
But they do have Craig Yeast.
Yep.
They do have DJ Flick. Both
Absolutely.
can go deep.
Absolutely.
Inches necessary for a Tiger Cat first down to keep this drive rolling early in the second quarter. goes anywhere as Radlin goes over the top.
You talk about Troy Davis and the incredible season he's having and the milestones that he's about to reach in Ticat history. And when you look at Troy Davis, it is amazing when you consider this. Defensive ends are always taught to respect the quarterback as he continues on a fake if Troy Davis was going to run to the left of a formation. So now with this, because it's Danny McManus, defensive ends tonight for Ottawa do not have to worry about Danny McManus running. So Troy Davis's accomplishments this year are that much more magnified because of the fact that defensive ends do not have to respect Danny McManus on the bootleg in his running ability, or lack of it.
On the money, far side.
So, you know, for John Turntine and Kai Ellis tonight, they can come off that edge in a hurry, crash down on the backside on Troy Davis. So that's, you know, Troy Davis is one of the running backs in the CFL that has that problem. You know, most of the running backs, the quarterbacks have enough mobility to get outside, and that freezes that backside defensive end. Davis doesn't have that luxury. He has to fight them all up there.
Gain is 4, 2nd and 6. McManus looks to put it up, and no catch, no interception. Most of the quarterbacks in the CFL are not closing in on 50,000 yards passing, however.
That's a very good point. And, you know, you were to start a franchise, you know, you want a Danny McManus because out of every position, you know, and we've had fun, and Danny's had fun himself with his lack of running ability. But out of any position, you want consistency. And Danny McManus has been that at the quarterback position. Last 10 years, he's averaged over 4,000 yards passing.
And he's heard that egg-timer joke many times, hasn't he?
Yeah, when it comes to his running.
Yeah. Jamie Borum struggled from in close over the last couple of weeks, but he's been able to hit from long range. Has one tonight, and this one is shanked wide. So he's 1 for 2 again. Armstead takes the point. Joe Paopao and the Renegades trying to get over another injured quarterback as it stands right now. One final home game in Ottawa for the Renegades in 2004, and it comes against the Hamilton Tiger Cats on the final Saturday of the season. Kennedy got the first down. Banks is in. Ronick has it on first down, and Ronick turns the corner with a nice burst of speed.
Well, John, if Ronick's production has dropped off over the last few games, the Ottawa Renegades need to lean on him now. I mean, Brad Banks will likely have a very bright future in the CFL. He's got good feet, a strong arm. He's played well at times, completed upwards of 60% of his passes in his limited action. But he's a long way away from understanding the game completely. And now the Renegades in this one have to lean on Josh Ronick.
For the first down for Ronick, he picked up 11. Banks will get another first down here inside the 40-yard line. Curtis Jackson hangs on.
And that's a nice indication of what Brad Banks is capable of. You know, he just turns, pivots, and fires a strike.
This was smooth.
Yeah, in there to Curtis Jackson.
Ticats have the lead. Penalty against the Renegades, and the first down will be at the 50-yard line. That was on the return by Armstead. Brad Banks at the control. He's out of Iowa, runner-up in the Heisman voting back in those days. Bright future, they say. Little experience though so far. Bendros the catch. Nice move by Bendros, and then caught from behind. Shoestring tackle by Barachia.
Brad Banks seen some playing action in the BC game this year, also in the Calgary game. What I was most impressed with Brad Banks when I watched him play against Calgary was his foot speed. He's quicker than most people give him credit. Of course, not a lot of people have seen a whole bunch of Brad Banks other than preseason.
Previous play, gain 7. This is 2nd and 3. Renegades trailing 11-0. play-action option, and no one was fooled.
Well,
On that Tiger Cat defense, leading the charge was Hitchcock.
yeah, and this is the advantage of Rob Hitchcock in the linebacking corps. A former safety, and I want to show you what Hitchcock does. Watch what he does here. Now, here's the dilemma. Do I hit the quarterback? Do I take Josh Ronick on the pitch? Well, if you're Rob Hitchcock with this quickness, you can do both. Take the quarterback and then go to the pitch.
High kick. Goss at the 9. 1 flag, 2 flags, 3 flags. Goss still standing, but he likely won't get credit for the return. It gets the Tiger Cats out near the 20.
Well, you got to believe that one of those flags at least will be against Hamilton, and it'll go back in this return. Troy Davis continues to chip away. In 15 yards to become the Ti-Cat all-time leader in rushing.
Jerry McDougal back with those great Tiger Cat teams
Illegal block.
in the 60s.
Hamilton 53.
Now there's
Half the distance. First down.
two schools of thought when your offense is down here. One is that you may see Troy Davis with the football down here because you want to try and run it out of the shadow of your own goalpost. But the other, and one that I think Danny McManus likes, is to go ahead and try and throw it deep. See if in one play you can't pick up big yards. We'll see what Hamilton decides to do.
55 seconds till halftime. Davis, nice run, and inching a little closer to that Tiger Cats all-time record. 9 yards for Troy Davis there.
Well, just talk about consistency for Troy Davis, and to have that balance. Both coaches talking about what Troy Davis brings to the table, and how very seldom does the first tackler bring Troy Davis down.
So 6 yards away from the record unofficially for Troy Davis. Not a big guy as running backs go, 5'8", but certainly stocky at 183 out of Iowa State.
Well, you look at the great runners in the CFL, and Charles Roberts has the tremendous quickness, can go from 0 to 60 in a blink of an eye, which is probably why they call him Blink. Or is it Wink or Blink or something? I don't know, whichever. And then you've got, Kenton Keith in Saskatchewan, who's a great slashing running back who can hit those holes and make people miss and change direction. Then you got Troy Davis. And Troy Davis is more of a combination of Charles Roberts and maybe a Mike Pringle. He comes with a whole bunch of aggressiveness. He attacks the line of scrimmage. He'll fight through tackles, but he has quick feet.
9 yards gained by Davis last time. There you go. This could be it. This should be the all-time record for Tiger Cat runners. It is Troy Davis with no penalty flags down anywhere as he breaks a long-standing record set by Jerry McDougal of the Tiger Cats in bygone years.
One more look at Troy Davis breaking the Ti-Cat record.
McManus hurry-up offense, looks deep, looking for Gilliam. Penalty flags are all over the coverage.
Well, there was a lot more contact this time between Dave Donaldson and Gilliam than there was when Donaldson was called on the first interference.
Interference. Ottawa 37. First down.
We'll go back more on Troy Davis in a minute. Let's take one more look at this play. Just over here to your right, take a look at the contact being made, and you see how Dave Donaldson got his hand up in the face mask of Gilliam.
16 seconds till halftime. McManus looks for more. And over overthrew his target a little high for DJ Flick that time.
Troy Davis signed with the Hamilton Tiger Cats in 2001. Played 12 games that year and only touched the ball 96 times, but almost was halfway to 1,000. Then he went 1143 in 2002, 1206 last year, and he's on pace for close to 1,500 this year and is now the Ticat all-time leader.
Coming into the game, he led the league with 1,342 yards. He's added to that, and he is the Tiger Cats' all-time leading rusher as a result of his last 2 carries. Fleiser tipped that one, I think.
You think back to last year in the 1-17 season, and boy, what would the Ticats have been without Troy Davis? I mean, he was really their only bright light, and the only reason that, you know, any fans wanted to come to games when you really think about it. I mean, all the offense the Ticats could muster in 2003 came from Troy Davis. And you know that even though he's having a great year, he loves to see the offense throwing the ball well as also.
McManus looking deep. Gilliam was the closest Tiger Cat receiver. You know, 1 second remains till halftime.
It's quite a battle going out there in that wide side between Gilliam and Dave Donaldson. And Donaldson turned around, thought he might get a call for offensive pass interference. Gilliam gave him a little push in the back. Donaldson playing on that wide side corner all season, missed a couple games due to injury, as has most of the Ottawa Renegades this year. But that's quite a battle going on so far in this one tonight on that outside.
So what do you do with 1 second remaining?
I think you throw it deep and see if you can't get an interference call or maybe a lucky tip or something. You got nothing to lose if you're the Ottawa Renegades.
Down by 11. Renegades have 1 second to go. Scrimmaging from the 50-yard line. Brad Banks does exactly that, looking deep, and this will be a jump ball.
You see?
Wayne Shaw had a chance at it, but it was there for the grasping, was it not?
It was close. Armstead was in behind, but Shaw knocked it down.
It's the Tiger Cats by 11 at halftime. Renegades, more bad luck. Hard to believe this kind of a season.
Well, this is, again, facing adversity. The Ottawa Renegades now, John, have to pull out all the stops. I mean, they cannot lose this football game or their playoff hopes disappear. So look for all kinds of possible trick plays, fake field goals, fakes in the kicking game.
And Joe has a few of those up his sleeve. Let's get down to the sideline. Here's Clark.
With Renegades head coach Joe Paopao. Joe, one play withstanding in that first half, you guys are still in the game.
Well, you know, it's a close game, and, you know, there's a lot of implications for both teams, and we'll want to play away from getting back into the game. You know, we're going with our backup guy, Brad, and we lost our quarterback with a broken wrist, so it's one of those ones where he's going to be fine, and, you know, we just got to hang in there and start making a couple plays.
And, of course, unfortunately, that's the way it's gone for you guys all year. If it's not one guy, somebody else getting hurt, and yet you guys are still fighting for a playoff spot.
Well, that's a testament to the character of the guys. You know, they're hanging in there, and you know what, they believe we're going to make some plays, and you know what, it's a great opportunity for Brad Banks, and you know, I look forward to his play. I think he's going to play fine.
All right, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
And if it wasn't for bad luck, the Renegades would have no luck at all. Again, it's on the line. The Ticats win this one, and Hamilton will be around for the playoffs a couple of weeks from now, for sure. Jason Armstead returning for Ottawa. This guy flies. 115-yard return against the Riders last week, and a 24-yard return there.
Connie Kwai is the offensive coordinator and is in charge of the running game. And we mentioned in that first half, they may have to lean on Josh Ronick a little bit more tonight now that they're down to their, really, essentially their third-string quarterback in Brad Banks, with Kerry Joseph not dressed tonight, and, of course, Darnell Kennedy out with a broken wrist.
Brad Banks out of Ottawa has all the moves. He's a smooth performer, but he is very inexperienced in the CFL and professional football. Connection there. Armstead makes the catch. He's well short of a first down.
6 touches for Josh Ronick, nowhere near enough in the first half. You know, the other side of the coin is that Connie Kawhi understands that the Hamilton Tiger Cat defense ranks 3rd in the league against the run. So that's part of the game planning coming in for the Renegades. They know that if they want to get Josh Ronick the football, it's going to be tough running against Joe Mumford, Johnny Scott, Tim Cheatwood, and the boys in that front 7.
Best rush in the league provided by this Hamilton group. Lots of quickness up there, in spite of the fact that Adriano Belli is out of the lineup for this one tonight. Scott, Mumford, and Tim Cheatwood lead the way to the quarterback a great deal in the CFL. Gain is 6 yards on the play to Armstead. 2nd and 4 Renegades at the Ottawa 45. Banks has time, looks long, nice pass. Catch is made, but out of bounds. Curtis Jackson held on, but couldn't keep his feet in.
Well, another great catch on the sideline that won't count. One had Mike Morielli had one in the first half, and this time it's Curtis Jackson's turn. Watch how he turns around. Now you need 1 foot inbounds. That right foot the first to touch, clearly on the white stripe on the outside. In fact, in the middle of it. Both officials right on the spot.
Jason Goss comes up to take a short punt. Lost it. Renegades have it. It goes right back to the Renegades, and this might be the opportunity that Ottawa has been looking for.
Big play by a guy who's improved game in and game out on those special teams, and one that's been a name that's been in the headlines a few times this year for the Renegades. A lot of fans would like to see Mike Vilmick, a first-round draft pick for the Renegades, get the ball out of the running back position a little more often, but he's been relegated to the teams in his career in the Ottawa Renegades. He's 2nd in the team in special teams tackles and comes up with a big play in a game that they are desperate for a win.
This is the opportunity the Renegades have been looking for, down by 11 early in the second half. 1st and 10 Ottawa, inside the 35, Ronick. The catch, there's the move, he's to the 30 and halfway to a first down.
Boy, you know, you just, when you're a desperate team, you look for all kinds of breaks, and you don't know where that break may come. And the Renegades need to take advantage of Mike Vilmick's hustle to get down there and get on top of that football. You know, you don't know where that big play is going to come from. Every play is important. You got one out of Mike Vilmick. Now can the offense go in there and punch it in?
Positive yardage for Ronick on first down. This is 2nd and 5. Banks with time. We'll get a first down here on the connection with Curtis Jackson.
Josh Ronick lines up to the left side of this formation to help out on Curtis Jackson. Watch how Ronick lines up here. Then he'll sneak out and try and set the pickup here for Jackson to come underneath number 81. See, here comes Ronick. Now he's trying to find a way to give Jackson another little seam. Now Justin makes the tackle from behind, or that play goes for a bunch more.
An 11-yard gain for Curtis Jackson. 4th catch, he has over 50 yards tonight. At the controls, fakes it to Ronick, takes off himself, throwing to the end zone. Catch is made, touchdown. Ben Ross has it. There's a penalty marker down back at the 20. Ben Ross has the catch in the end zone. We'll check the infraction.
My only question is, was Brad Banks behind the line of scrimmage?
Offside. Hamilton 53. Penalties decline.
Touchdown stands.
Apparently he was. Because he was getting awful close to that line of scrimmage. A nice fake to Josh Ronick to start things out. Watch the fake to Ronick right up the middle. That freezes a couple of Ticats right out of the get-go. Now here comes the fake right there. Now he gets to the outside. A tough throw to make for Brad Banks, running full speed to his left, and Bendras kept that left foot in bounds.
Huge play on the turnover by Mike Vilmick to set up the Renegades in that first touchdown. Ottawa right back in this game, trailing by 4. Banks pass to Bendras for 6. Tiger Cats maintain possession of the football on a contacting the kicker call against Kai Ellis. So here's the first down, and there goes Troy Davis again.
Well, there's no way you can sugarcoat this if you're an Ottawa Renegade fan. Kai Ellis just had a brain cramp. Now, he was fighting as he attacked the line, but it looked to me like he could have avoided contact on Jamie Borum. He doesn't, and gives the Hamilton Tiger Cats a first down and some of that momentum back that Ottawa had gained.
A gain of 4, 2nd and 6. McManus puts it up. He'll get a first down out at the 45. Don Gilliam has another catch for the Tiger Cats.
You know, how many times have you heard coaches say that games come down to 3, 4, 5 plays? I mean, think back to the turn of events when Dave Donaldson had an interception in the first half, was called back on a very questionable pass interference call. Next play, Craig East has a Hamilton touchdown. Ottawa gets a 2-0 in this series. Kai Ellis with a penalty. Now completion to Gilliam, and Danny McManus is into Ottawa's territory.
First down. Davis again, and Troy Davis. Nice little opening there. Makes a little extra on extra effort. Kyrie Bear makes the tackle. The gain is 6. Make it 8. The gain is 8.
Now the Renegades go from a team that was trying to build on some momentum in a desperate situation to a team that has to face another challenge. All of a sudden, Troy Davis is picking up yards. The passing game is back on track. And watch out, 77 for Davis so far.
Second down and a couple to go. That one was whistled down beforehand. 29,220 on hand at Ivor Wynn for this one tonight. A virtual sellout. And on the season, 250,585 in the stands here at Ivor Wynn. It is a remarkable story.
It's an unbelievable story, John, and I think more than anything for the entire league, and that includes any market, the big city markets in BC or Montreal, and maybe even the potential expansion markets in the Eastern Canada. Any dilemma can be overcome. Hamilton proved that this year.
New ownership has made a huge difference. McManus out pattern far side, and DJ Flick has it. 7 yards for Flick.
Good timing pattern to the outside. The idea is that DJ Flick turns up like this just prior to the ball leaving the hands of Danny McManus after a little fake to the inside. I didn't draw the fake. I just showed you where he ended up.
Closing in on 1,000 yards, DJ Flick. 962 coming in. He's 5 yards away now. And Pigskin Pete is in rare form tonight. He's over 1,000. DJ Flick over 1,000 yards. He was a Renegade a year ago. And he's come on to Hamilton. Picked up 18 yards there and leading the Tiger Cats toward the playoffs.
The old throw behind from Danny McManus. Play by design to throw it to the back hip of DJ Flick. And then basically the premise is DJ Flick throws on the brakes and George McCullough flies on by.
7 touchdowns on the year, 1,013 yards receiving. Troy Davis already the Tiger Cats leading rusher over his career, taking over the mark established in the 60s by Jerry McDougall. So Davis is having another one of those nights.
You're Kai Ellis right now with the Renegades. You're just hoping and praying that your football team can come up with a stop here and hold Hamilton to a field goal try.
And hoping even more that you might be part of that play that would stop this drive. Tiger Cats near the 10 on second down. McManus a little low. No catch ruled. Gilliam thinks that he should get credit for the catch, but they waved it off quickly. Third down.
There's that matchup again. talked about that in the first half. Gilliam against Donaldson. Does he make the catch or not? No, that's a great call by the officials because that hits the outside hand of Gilliam, bounces off the turf, and then back into his hands. But it happens in a split second for the officials. We get the luxury of the replay, and they made the right call.
Jamie Borum is in. 1 of 3 against the Blue Bombers last week, 1 of 4 against the Eskimos the week before. But the one that he made was good for the victory, a 47-yarder. He's in close again. This will be spotted at the 17. He's got this one. A critical 3 for the Tiger Cats, looking for a berth in the playoffs. On first down, Tiger Cats, Troy Davis is wrapped up at the 30. On second down, McManus has Yeast. And this has been an impressive combination in recent weeks. Greg Yeast coming into the game with 836 yards and receptions and 4 touchdowns.
John, they don't get any of those yards, though, if you don't have an offensive line that can get the job done. And the Hamilton Tiger Cats lead the league in sacks against, fewest sacks allowed. Coming into this one, they just had given up 10 on the season. They also have the leading rusher in the CFL in Troy Davis. You can't do all that without an offensive line. Look at this.
And the offensive line works pretty well with number 32. Does it not? He is the leading rusher in the Canadian Football League and the leading rusher in Tiger Cat history as it stands as of tonight.
Right now, the leader of that group is the middle guy, and that's Carl Coulter. The veteran of 15 seasons in the CFL is going to leave Troy Davis on this one, get his hands on Reggie Givens, the middle linebacker for the Ottawa Renegades. Carl Coulter's the guy who pulls them together. He's got a rookie in Wayne Smith on right side, a rotation in Tim Baker and Pascal Charon on the other. He has pulled that group together.
Second and 1. Tiger Cats just across midfield, no problem for the first down. And thoughts from Carl Coulter on the play of this Tiger Cat offensive line in 2004.
Our line is all about communication. We've had relatively the same guys in here for the last few years with a couple of changes here and there. And it just seems that whoever we bring in seems to fit in nicely. Maybe it's the way that we conduct ourselves, our attitude in practice towards films, whatever it is. We just take a lot of pride in what we do, and we make sure that the young guys that come in are on the same page as us.
McManus on first down. Tunkara at the 30. Ibn Tunkara has a huge gain for the Tiger Cats, and McManus had all the time in the world.
John, has anyone from the Renegade defense even been close to Danny McManus tonight? Like, I mean, even in the same area code? Watch the boys up front here. Danny McManus has had time to go to the second, the third, no one in his face. Tim Fleiser got there way late. I mean, this offensive line has shut the door. Look at them work together, side to side. They move as one, and when your offensive line is moving as one, it is tough to beat. I mean, this is where a group has to be on the same page. That's the guy who gets them on that page. But boy, they were together. You see how they shifted to the right all together. Then they all shifted, all 5 of them, back to the left.
As always, you get to do the math, but Danny McManus at 210 yards passing tonight, closing in on that magical mark of 50,000 through his wonderful career.
Carl Coulter's been his center for a lot of those passing yards, and he's the guy who starts the play by making sure Danny McManus gets the football clean. There it is, 210 yards tonight. He needed 299 coming in. 88?
89. There you go. You had it right there. I was so proud of you. I was so proud. You know, you can say an awful lot about a lot of the guys who have played this game, but when you travel and spend a little time with Danny McManus, you know, those are special moments on airplanes or maybe for the one pop after a victory somewhere along the way. And it wasn't a happy time last year at all for these Tiger Cats, but things have turned around and they have 7 times as many wins as they did a year ago. McManus with a first down at the 30. Troy Davis. The quick moves after he hit the line, and Davis is having another one of those nights.
Yeah, and you talk about Danny McManus, and the other guy that is like that and has been throughout his entire career, and talking just first class, has been number 51, Carl Coulter. You know, and the center is always calling all the plays, and he's been another guy that we've had many a conversation, and a guy who's been a big part of this Canadian Football League for 15 seasons. Same amount as Danny McManus.
Davis over 100. 105 prior to that, so he's at about 107 now, Troy Davis. That was his 19th carry. And that was the final play of the third quarter as the Tiger Cats continue the drive and lead the Renegades by a touchdown at 14-7. So the Tiger Cats begin the fourth quarter looking at 3rd and 1. And the cheer would indicate that Julian Radlin has plenty to move the yardsticks. Through 3 quarters, it looks like this.
Troy Davis, the majority of the 108 yards rushing for the Ticats, is the Ticat all-time leader in rushing category. 210 yards passing for Danny McManus. He creeps up that list and is now 89 yards shy of 50,000 in his career.
It really is a remarkable achievement. Only 2 other quarterbacks in the Canadian Football League have tossed for 50,000. McManus on the verge tonight. Troy Davis, left side, 5-yard line, down to the 3.
And again, you know, I want to emphasize that records in the running categories, milestones like 50,000 passing, just doesn't happen unless you have an offensive line that can get it done. I want to show you a lead block by 59 Wayne Smith, the rookie, right there on Gerald Vaughn that makes this play happen for Troy Davis. I mean, he goes out and gets Vaughn, then he goes up and picks up one of the guys in the secondary. Oh, baby. Those guys up front are going crazy right now. I mean, they are getting it done and have all year.
First overall, chosen by the Tiger Cats this year, 6'2", 305. And Hamilton with the opportunity here from the 3. Not this time. Troy Davis. 2 more cracks at it from in close.
Well, give the Renegade defensive line some credit there because, you know, all the momentum now back to the Hamilton Tiger Cat bench. They have a drive going. The O-line is blowing guys off the ball. And they, you know, they're backed up on their goal line, and that Renegade defensive line and linebacking crew, they played well there. Can they do it again?
An impressive drive beginning at the 28. 2nd and goal to go from here. Davis still standing, lost the ball. And the Renegades turn it back, recovered by Seneca Taylor. Davis, that little extra stretch.
You know, John, I've said it many times. Sometimes they try and reach with that football. Finally caught one guy.
Taylor took it away. Ottawa on the brink of elimination. Hamilton on the brink of making the playoffs and caught from behind. Troy Davis.
Well, I mean, he's made some plays too. Reggie Givens. You know, Reggie Givens covered a whole bunch of ground and caught a running back from behind that doesn't get caught from behind. Troy Davis doesn't get caught from behind. Reggie Givens got in behind him there.
Runner-up as Defensive Player of the Week last week in a loss to the Saskatchewan Roughriders. He played extremely well in a close game.
6th start for Reggie Givens.
2nd and 7. McManus looks to put it up. And flags are down. Claude Fag is patrolling the sidelines and checking things out.
Well, John, Glenn talked about how the Renegades would love to be able to throw 12 healthy guys out there no matter what the position. Well, you can scratch another healthy body off the Renegades list. Kelly Wiltshire, one of their defensive warriors, is now out of the game with a sprained left knee. He's got a nice pack on it, so you do the math. Kennedy, Armstead, Wiltshire, not looking good for the Renegades, guys.
142 consecutive starts for Kelly Wilshire.
69. Penalties decline. Third down.
So although he may get to continue that streak next week, he is out of this one tonight, it would appear.
It really has been amazing to consider the injuries, and to their credit, Joe Paopao and the coaching staff have not all season long used it as an excuse for why they've struggled since their 3-0 start.
Jamie Borum in to kick a 45-yarder, or at least attempted. He nailed a 47-yarder for the win against the Eskimos after struggling in that game 2 weeks ago, but he got the game winner in the final seconds of that victory over Edmonton. So here he tries from 45 with Yeast holding. Has he got it? No. Not enough leg. Could have been an important couple of points, but Bendros avoids it there, and he's out to around the 17. 3 minutes to go, the season on the line for the Renegades. Brian Holmes, the third kicker the Renegades have used so far this season, has been called upon to kick the field goal to get Ottawa within 4. Now they've changed their plans.
I think they have a problem with the numbers out there.
Okay, so now they are going to kick. Miscommunication. Ticats ball out at midfield.
You know, John, initially it looked to me like the Renegades may be a man short, but then when I recounted them, I counted 12. They could possibly have been trying to set up some sort of fake that the Hamilton Tiger Cats did not bite on. When Fleming went to the sideline, the holder, did he go to the sideline to possibly set up some kind of fake? The Hamilton Tiger Cats maybe did not give Ottawa the look they wanted, so they went back to the field goal formation and then couldn't get that done because of the high snap, and Fleming couldn't handle it.
That's the kind of year it's been for Joe Paopao. Chris Martin recovering the ball with 2:33 to go. And Danny McManus has a 7-point lead. Troy Davis will see the bulk of the work for the Tiger Cat offense here. And the game story looks like this, brought to you by Sport Check, proud supporter of the CFL.
Troy Davis becomes the Ticat all-time leading rusher.
Danny McManus may come up a little shy of that 50,000 career mark with 2:26 remaining on this one.
Ticats with a win or a tie tonight can clinch a playoff spot.
And currently Hamilton holds on to a 7-point advantage. McManus looks at second down here, and he looks to Troy Davis.
Well, the Renegade defense gets the stop they need, but they've given up so much field position on the miscues. A sack on Brad Banks by Johnny Scott, and then a botched attempt on the field goal has put Joe Paopao's squad in a deep hole. But
2:07 remains.
Yes,
That's the but.
which is plenty of time. 2:07, and you're down by 1 converted major.
Bendros drops deep. Jamie Borum near his 45. Whoa! Renegades came close. The Ticats give lots of room to Bendros, and then a flag flies. 1:40 remains. Hamilton leading by a touchdown. It's Ottawa ball, and the Renegades begin at the 10. Brad Banks has Ronick open backfield for Josh Ronick, and he's tough to bring down. He's out to the 30. Chris Martin making the tackle there.
Great call to start things off for the Ottawa Renegades. Little draw, or a little screen, I should say, to Josh Ronick. Slips out of the backfield, and he has a nice picket fence set up. George Hudson with a nice block at the point of attack.
Caller's getting a little tight on that Tiger Cat bench. They have controlled this game much of the way. And the Renegades look to escape here. A first down, catch made by Jackson. Nice tackle at the 34 by Rob Hitchcock, who held on.
1:14 remaining. Now Brad Banks will try and call the plays on the line of scrimmage. The Ticats so far in these first 2 downs of the series have gone with 4-man pressure, dropped everyone else back. Now with this defensive line, they can get pressure with 4. Makes it that much tougher for Brad Banks to throw the ball down the field in that intermediate zone.
This is 2nd and 5. With a little time, he'll get the first down. The Renegades are still alive. 50 seconds to go.
50 seconds is plenty of time, but you got to believe that Brad Banks is going to need a play of about 20 yards somewhere in this drive, somewhere in this series. He's got to get one down the middle or down the sideline of about 20, 25 yards.
Yo Murphy picks up 11 yards. First down, Ottawa. 46. 4 receivers far side. Banks looks to the near side and missed his target. No catch. Bendros was the intended receiver. And there's a penalty flag down in the Renegades backfield. In fact, there are 2.
George Hudson.
Now there are 3.
And Tim Cheatwood were in a brawl. Now, Hudson's helmet's off. I'm not sure if he threw it off or it was thrown off for him. Either way, that's a penalty for sure.
That might have been the 3rd flag.
Well, let's take a look. Here's Cheatwood working on the stunt on Hudson. Plays over, little push there by Hudson. Something said by Cheatwood, and then they went at it. You could see Cheatwood said something in the ear of George Hudson. They turned around. There was a flag there. And the fight happened, and then Hudson threw his helmet off.
It may take a minute to settle this. Joe Paopao and the Renegades need a win,
John,
to keep playoff hopes alive.
And how they settle this penalty will go a long way in the comeback effort for the Ottawa Renegades.
We've got objectionable conduct, disqualification, Hamilton 49.
Wow.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Ottawa 52. Objectionable conduct, helmet violation, Ottawa 52. 2nd down.
Okay, so we got the one correct. The helmet came off. That was the 3rd flag. Tim Cheatwood has to leave this game. And from the replay we saw, it had to be because of something he said.
So here's what's going to happen to the Renegades, however. The yards marched off against Hudson will make this 2nd and nearly impossible.
Well, because they would have basically equaled out except for the helmet penalty at the end of that from George Hudson. Tim Cheatwood makes his way to an early shout.
Well, it's not that early. 36 seconds left on the clock.
Early compared to the rest of the squad.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying he's not going to use all the hot water by the time this is over, unless the Renegades get even here and we see a little overtime. But look at this, 2nd and 30 for the Renegades, and a rookie at the controls. A little difficult to pull off something here, although they have nothing left to play for except these next 2 chances. 2 downs remain. They need 30 yards in 36 seconds. Well, in less than 36 to have a chance.
Well, yeah, and you know, in fairness, the Hamilton Tiger Cats have controlled this game for the most part from start to finish. A gutsy effort for the Renegades. A couple times down on their goal line, they could have quit many times in this game. They lost their starting quarterback, who's really their backup quarterback, in Darnell Kennedy early, but they battled. They're within 7. They still have hope. But this has been a game that has been dominated, basically. Well, not dominated is the wrong word.
No,
it's been controlled by
the Tiger Cats, but they haven't had the killer instinct to put Ottawa away when they've had opportunities. So here we go. 2nd and 30 for the Renegades. Back at the 26. 36 seconds to go. Banks looks to escape.
Gets the first down with his legs and finds a wide open Pat Woodcock, who's had a tough season but has come up with 2 big catches in this game.
2 catches for Woodcock, 1 for 40 yards, this one for 34. Renegades are not cooked yet. 18 seconds to go. Banks stands in. He's got Jackson. 9 seconds, make it 8. Marcus Spencer with the tackle.
John, it went from 8 to 7 in a hurry. There's 7 showing on the clock now.
They may have to add a couple there, Glenn.
Well, we'll see, because the officials are talking. They want to know if a couple slipped off there with the old home field advantage.
It's been known to happen.
Bottom line is, here for the Renegades is now at the 27-yard line. They could throw the football to the end zone in one play. If they get a couple of seconds back on, which it doesn't look like they're going to, they have to be careful not to have this die. Do you try to go for 2 plays, make a quick one, get within striking range, say 15-yard line, or do you go for it all right now?
Made all the more difficult by the fact you're playing with a rookie at quarterback right now. 7 seconds to go. First down, Renegades. They're down by a touchdown. Banks looks to the end zone. He's got it. Oh, baby! Got 3 catches in a row. That's his whole season. Pat Woodcock. 0s on the clock. Woodcock gets the Renegades within a point. Oh, baby! To come.
Pat Woodcock. What a catch. Performance by the Ottawa Renegades. But they have to get this extra point.
The newcomer to kick. Brian Holmes, flags are down. A 99-yard drive for the touchdown.
2nd and 30 for Brad Banks. 2nd and 30. He goes 34 to Pat Woodcock.
Then 25 to Woodcock for the touchdown. Make it 23.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
The convert is good. We're even. We're ready for overtime. 14-14 on the DeFasco clock in the Tiger Cats end zone. And this one has slipped away from the Hamilton Tiger Cats for the time being, at least. At least almost impossible. He has brought the Renegades back to even with the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Well, it starts at 2nd and 30, and then this, after they convert, Pat Woodcock with a 34-yard catch, finds an opening in the end zone, has to go back against the flow to catch this one. Brad Banks will roll to his left, and they're back against the flow and back into the backside. And what change of direction for Pat Woodcock with the pressure on him.
It's not over yet. The Renegades showing no quit. The Tiger Cats feeling the heat. It has changed the whole swing of the momentum here. And think about the Tiger Cats going into overtime with uncertainty, I should say, around their kicker.
Well, it looked like the Hamilton Tiger Cats won the toss and will elect to play defense first in overtime. So they'll see what Ottawa can get and see then what they have to match when they get their turn.
Here are the Renegades, first crack at it. In OT, Banks, slant in pattern. And David Azzi has his first catch of the game. It comes in extra time. And it's good for a first down.
Well, I just, you can't say enough about the guts from this Ottawa Renegade football team and the courage that they have battled back. I mean, they could have quit many times. They lost Armstead. They lost Darnell Kennedy. Pat Woodcock steps up. He's had a tough season with injuries. He comes up big when they need him most.
First down, Ottawa. Again, same play, Azzi. Jason Goss to make the tackle.
Now keep in mind that a tie in this game also clinches a playoff spot for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The Renegades have to win it. Greg Marshall just has to tie it. All he has to do is match Ottawa in this overtime.
Ticats with one tie already on the season against the Argonauts a few weeks ago. Renegades looking at 2nd and 2. Ronick breaks a tackle, breaks a couple, in fact. He's inside the 10.
And remember, they attack right now Ottawa with Josh Ronick, the left side of the defensive formation for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Who normally lines up there in this formation?
49.
Tim Cheatwood. He's in the showers. Disqualified in this game. Matt Petz has stepped in for Cheatwood, and that's exactly where Ottawa attacked with Josh Ronick right there. Now Devontae Peterson, who is in for an injured Adriano Belli. Looks like now he'll have to go out for at least 3 plays, no matter how bad, as he grabs his right calf muscle.
And so who's left? Well, nobody listed.
John McDonald.
Except John McDonald.
That's right. So he'll have to come and play inside. Matt Petz fills in for Tim Cheatwood, and their next choice would be to move a linebacker up into the defensive line and maybe play. There's McDonald there, and behind him I was going to mention Rob Hitchcock. And maybe Hitchcock comes in the linebacking core, and that's really their only choice. So McDonald has to go in the game now in overtime in a crucial situation.
Dennis McPhee, on the sidelines.
And Dennis McPhee. Dennis McPhee. Okay, so just go forward and just stop whoever has the ball.
Just plug it up. Plug it up as best you can. Overtime, and there's lots more ahead from Ivor Wynn. Another terrific finish on Wendy's Friday Night Football. Guaranteed. We're in overtime. The Renegades trying to stay alive and keep their slim playoff chances intact against the Tiger Cats, who are 1 point away from clinching a playoff spot for the first time in 3 years. Overtime will settle this. Pat Woodcock had the touchdown, and here are the Renegades with 3 cracks at it, 3 cracks at the end zone from the 9. Quarterback is Brad Banks. The runner is Josh Ronick. And he's across the 5 down to about the 4.
Yeah, well, not a big surprise that Josh Ronick's going to see the football with a depleted defensive line in front of him. Why not go ahead and attack the line of scrimmage with Josh Ronick?
Renegades obviously gunning for a touchdown here. The Tiger Cats will have the right to match if, in fact, Ottawa can cross the line and score back-to-back touchdowns. From the 5, Ronick again.
Oh, what a play.
Donovan Carter.
What a play from Donovan Carter. The former Ottawa Renegade makes a huge one for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Penetration from Donovan Carter as he blows right by Val St. Germain, who was trying to pull around from the right side of that offensive line, pick up Carter, and Carter beat the block.
Brian Holmes for the Renegades, sharp angle. Spotted at the 16. He's got it. So now, what are you thinking at the Tiger Cat bench? Your kicker has struggled. Jamie Borum, good on 61%. He's had a tough night. And that's what the Tiger Cats have to do at the very least, is match this field goal.
He struggled, John, but remember back when he struggled a couple of weeks ago, missed two short ones against the Edmonton Eskimos. And what did Greg Marshall do when the game was on the line and he was 47 yards away? He put him right back in there and do it. And he made it.
He made the kick. He made the kick from 47 after missing a couple from 15. Now it's the veteran McManus standing in. No catch. Craig Yeast took it off the turf.
But the first thing they have to do is get into reasonable field goal range. You know, right now, if they line up and don't get a first down, you know, you're looking at a 42-yarder. Now, a 42-yarder in the first quarter, you think is very makeable. The 42-yarder in overtime with playoffs sort of in the balance is a little bit different when you're talking the pressure on the kicker.
McManus, 2nd and 10, stands in, looks to the end zone, tipped away.
Oh, my goodness.
He had a target.
The newcomer back there in his first game, Corey Banks, could have won the game. Could have won the game for the Ottawa Renegades with an interception.
Morreale could have won it for the Tiger Cats.
Well, exactly.
Right?
You go down the seam, but this is an underthrown ball, and Banks had the best chance at it. He cut under the throw. And he intercepts that football.
And it's
over.
Good night,
and Ottawa's
Louise.
won it.
Goalpost might have been a bit of a factor there. So here you go for the tie. Jamie Borum from 37 and 45. This from 47 yards to force extra time in overtime. Has he got it? Absolutely!
We'll go again. We'll go again.
42-yard field goal.
Boy, Jamie Borum has struggled, but he's made some big kicks in the last few weeks. Wow. 42-yarder. Whoa. And you can't get any more pressure on you for a kicker than that. In overtime, you have to match or you lose. Remember, when they kicked it in Edmonton, it was a kick for overtime. It wasn't a kick to win or lose. This is a win or lose kick. He misses this, baby. Ottawa wins the game.
Officially from 42 yards at 17-17. So let's go the other way and do it all over again.
One more try at it. Now this will be the last attempt. This time the Hamilton Tiger Cats will get the football first. The Ottawa Renegades will get a chance to match, and they'll move to the opposite end of the field. So this capacity crowd, the other side of it, can get the first-hand action.
Joe Paopau's Ottawa Renegades.
Do they have a couple more plays in them? And that's what he must be thinking right now. Can they reach down one or two more times?
From the 35, Troy Davis. And he's got the 25-yard line, it would appear.
And in some ways, John, if the Renegades can get a stop here, in other words, force Greg Marshall to put his field goal team on the field, then now the Renegades, because they're going second, have the advantage. They know then it's 3-down football for them. They have to have the major because they have to have the win. It takes all the guesswork out of it. But they need to stop first on defense.
2nd and inches. Oh! Davis is upended. He won't get the first down.
Well, may have even lost a yard. May have even lost a yard.
Oh, my.
Now, Greg Marshall has gone more than once and gambled on 3rd and 1 in crucial situations.
But this is for all the marbles. This is for your playoff spot. And I realize the Tiger Cats have 2 more games to get 1 point. But it won't get any easier after this, as Hamilton lines up against Toronto next, and then Ottawa in Ottawa on the final week of the season. 3rd down. A yard to go.
Boy, he just rolled across the outside of the pile and got it.
Troy Davis will have the first down, and the Tiger Cats continue the drive. I wonder how Greg Marshall is enjoying his first year in the CFL.
He's loving every minute of it. You know, it's been refreshing to watch Greg Marshall coach in the CFL. You know, believe it or not, heading into this season, people thought that the hiring of Greg Marshall was a gamble. I would say it was a great decision. Well, on behalf of Ron Lancaster and Bob Young.
Yeah, they made a lot of really fine decisions here. At one point this evening, Bob Young was standing on the sidelines at one of the quarter breaks and got a roaring ovation from 29,000 fans here.
And that may be the key hiring for the franchise out of the gate. And you have to believe, at the very least, Greg Marshall is a candidate for Coach of the Year, if not the front runner.
Well, I'd say he's the front runner, but
well, he's got to be a candidate.
He has to be a candidate.
And he has done it his way in a lot of instances. I mean, first and foremost out of the gate, he put all his confidence in a quarterback in Danny McManus that many thought was finished for his career. And Bob Young hired Greg. There's Bob Young. He hires Greg Marshall. Marshall puts his confidence in the quarterback, and then Bob, you know what Bob Young does? Steps away and lets Ron Lancaster and Greg Marshall run the football operations.
Do you think Bob Young has had fun this season?
I think he's had a blast. And he's been here at every game, and he's always down shaking hands with the fans in the end zone. And boy, has he shown the entire country that, you know, when you do it right, it can be a pretty special thing.
Well, local ownership makes a heck of a difference in this league, without question. Lots on the line. The Tiger Cats a point away from making the playoffs. After only winning 1 game in 2003, these guys have won 7 times and tied once, and are on the verge of being in the playoffs for the first time in 3 years.
Now, for the Renegades, yet another injury, John, and that's why we've had a little time here. And it looks fairly serious. John Turntine, it was a leg injury, and you can see he's had to go off on the cart as they stabilize that leg. He was at the bottom of that pile when Troy Davis picked up the first down. So yet another injury for the Ottawa Renegades.
So here are the Tiger Cats in overtime against the Renegades, even at 17. Second possession for Hamilton. First down for McManus. There they go. DJ Flick. And 6 points written all over that.
Yeah, but you know what? The veteran Gerald Vaughn got his hand up, and he may even have touched it. I'm not sure. I mean, it was that close. If anything, he distracted DJ Flick just enough. Right there, the ball arrives. It kind of surprised him. And Gerald Vaughn distracted him just enough.
So 2nd and 10. Ticats. Troy Davis, left side, he won't get there. kicking time. George McCullough making the play there. That time for Ottawa.
Well, you would think automatic kicking time, but you know, as the field goal team was coming on the field, they were all kind of walking slowly, looking at Greg Marshall, wondering if maybe he might just try.
Yeah, but this is 3rd and 7.
I know. Hey, believe me, I know. But remember, early in the game, he went on 3rd and 5 as well. But this is overtime, and you got to take the field goal and take the points. Put your defense on the field.
Borum made his last one from 42. Two in a row. So the Renegades have the right to match or better the 3 points on the board for the Tiger Cats right now.
Well, they switch it around. We have a chance because it's Friday night.
No argument there. Brad Banks has the ball. No flags on that play. It'll be 2nd and 10 Renegades. Bronick was the target, I do believe. Numbers on Banks. Touchdowns, 277 yards in relief.
Gee, I tell you what, you know the opportunity that we talked about Darnell Kennedy had at the beginning of this game? Brad Banks has made the best of his opportunity. Put this team in the 2nd overtime is saying something.
Jackson makes the catch, stopped short of the first down, lost the ball. Ticats have won. The Ticats have clinched a spot in the playoffs. Jackson fumbled it. The Ticats get it. Jason Goss, one of the newcomers. And this place is alive.
A gutsy performance for the Ottawa Renegades. But from a 1-17 season a year ago, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, they have to go to double overtime to seal the deal. Tackling in the open field, and the newcomer, Goss, picks up the fumble and clinches a playoff spot for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
It has been a truly remarkable story at Iverwin Stadium all season long, and that is the final home game of the regular season. Dare the Tiger Cats dream that they might have a chance to host one of the playoff games in the CFL East? Well, they'll have to win out, and they'll have to get a little help, but it's been fun watching Marshall and his troops, hasn't it?
No matter how far they go in the playoffs, it has been some kind of year for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.